What is going on, fellas? Welcome back to the corner. The only corner where we're selling statistics and knowledge, not dope and pussy. We got quarterfinals on our hands. We're gonna get right fucking into it. We ended the last one a little abruptly. I apologize if the camera quality has dropped a little bit. Broke the good camera, so that is definitely on the New Year's shopping list. But shout out to Sister for the new thread, new cap. But we're gonna get right into it, man. First off, we got Alabama playing the Indiana Hoosiers. The Hoosiers are coming into the Rose Bowl with a 6.5 point favorite. Bad weather may be a problem, which is hard to say in the state of California, but it is January, boys. It is going to be January. Alabama's looking for their 10th college football playoff win in program history. Obviously, Indiana's looking for their first playoff win ever, but Indiana is also looking for its first bowl win since the year 1991. So, not only do we want to kind of put Alabama to bed, would love for Indiana to kind of get back on top because I am a Signetti fan. I was not last year. Obviously, he's got a few things you don't really like, but not every coach is going to be Nick Saban. Not every coach is going to be Kirby Smart. Not every coach is going to be, Ryan Day. So, with that being said, Alabama's coming to this game averaging about 32 points to Indiana's 42 points a game. Indiana is top 10 in passing yards. In rushing yards, 20 plus yard plays, turnovers, yards per game, and points per game. Alabama only averaging about 110 yards on the ground, about 12 turnovers, averaging 380 yards altogether. Alabama's getting multiple guys back on defense and offense, especially highlighting LT Overton on the defense. Said he is absolutely elated that he's back. These boys have no minutes restrictions, no plays restrictions or anything. Also getting running back Kevin Riley, which has been a problem for the Tide for the last 5-6 games. I'd have to go back and do the averages, but I'm sure Alabama was averaged about 60 yards a damn game in the last 6 games of their season, including SEC championship and first round. Indiana's only allowing 11 points per game on defense. That is second in the nation. 78 yards on the ground per game, which is third. My problem is they haven't played anybody besides Ohio State, which, boys, we could split hairs. Obviously, they got the win, but they missed a field goal. It's not like they took a kneel down and ran out the clock. No, they missed a field goal. They should have gone to overtime. You never know. And then Oregon dropped 20 on them. So which was about, and we'll talk about that in a second. That game specifically. Can Bama stop IU's offense? And can Alabama run the football? That's essentially what this game's going to come down to. 100%. IU's not going to get a big lead in the first quarter and then blow it like Oklahoma did. That is absolutely not how Signetti's game is going to go. That is, guys to watch out for in this game. Obviously, Kevin Riley, Ty Simpson, Jeremy Bernard, and then Alabama had a freshman tight end that kind of came alive last week. I don't want to fuck his name up. I don't exactly remember his name, but I know he is a tight end that was hurt for a majority of the second half of the season. And they got him back last week. On the other side of the ball, Eli Surratt and Fernando Mendoza is 100% what this is going to come down to. They have got to be able to push the ball down the field. They've got to be able to be the offense that they've been all year long. The next thing we're going to talk about is the Cotton Bowl, which is taking place tomorrow night at 7:30, boys. Miami is in the top 10 in points per game allowed on defense. They are fourth with 13, and rushing yards allowed per game, 87, which is seventh, and sacks per game with 3.2, which is fourth. Um, on the other side of the ball, Miami is averaging about 32 points per game, 415 yards, 260 passing yards, 150 rushing yards. Now they've got 13 sacks allowed all year long, which is fourth. So Carson Beck has not been running for his life at all. So some of these 4 interception games, he's gonna have to leave this 109 yards total of offense in a playoff game. He's gonna have to leave that shit in the past. He's gonna have to come in this game. He's gonna have to get it done. Now, do I think he'll get it done? Absolutely not. Ohio State is a 9.5 point favorite coming into this game. Speaking of, they are averaging about 35 points a game, 430 yards a game, 265 passing yards, 160 rushing yards, and they have a 55% third down conversion rate, which is second in the nation. That is phenomenal. Granted, just like Indiana, they haven't played anybody. They played Texas, which was a preseason number 1. We see what happened to them later in the season. They are not the preseason number 1. They didn't make the playoffs. 3-loss team. That is a problem. And then they lost to Indiana. You can flip the coin and say, missed field goal, but they lost. They missed a field goal. So I think Ohio State comes out. I do think they get the win, but I genuinely think that Miami exposes this Ohio State offense. I think they stand on their defense. It is another low-scoring game, and I don't think Miami's offense is going to do at all what they did to Texas Tech or Texas A&M to Ohio State. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, with Ohio State's defense, which will be the reason they will not be moving the football very well, is they are first in points per game, yards per game, passing yards per game, 20-plus plays allowed, and third down conversion rate at 66.7%. They are holding teams on third down. They are 3 and out a lot of the times, boys. Granted, like I'm saying, they haven't played anybody. Miami is 5-0 versus the top 25 this year alone. Out of the 13 football games they have played, 5 of them have been the top 25. They are 2-0 against top 10 teams as well. So, I mean, boys, I just do not see Miami upsetting them. I do see the defense maybe showing that Ohio State's offense is absolutely one-dimensional. I, Bain Jr. and the linebackers are not going to allow Bo Jackson to get any type of run game going. That's not going to allow Julian Sand. I mean, it's just I believe it's going to be a hard-fought, low-scoring football game. Guys to look out for in this game, obviously Malachi Toney, absolutely one of my favorite players to watch this year. Might be freshman of the year if we're being 100% honest. I would give it to Malachi. 100% has carried this team in an MVP type of way. You take him off the team, I think this Miami team is nowhere near in this conversation. Obviously Carson Beck we talked about, Mark Fletcher Jr. and Bain Jr., the linebacker from last week that was just all over the field. On the other side, Bo Jackson, Julian Sand, Jeremiah Smith, and the other wide receiver that they got back, Cardell. I think that it is gonna be a dogfight. I'm giving it to Ohio State though, boys. I hate to say it. Now this is my favorite game to watch of the week besides the Dogs game. I've got Oregon playing Texas Tech, coming in as a lower seed, but also coming in as a 2.5 point favorite. Texas Tech looking to get its first college football playoff win in program history since its birth in 2014. These are the number one and number two most explosive offenses in the playoffs. Obviously, if they're in the playoffs, then it's the number one and number two in the nation. Texas Tech, 42 points per game. They're averaging 480 yards a game, 289 passing, 190 rushing, 90 20 plus yard plays, which is second in the nation, and then a 50.5% conversion rate on third down, which is phenomenal. This offense is obviously one of my favorite. I've talked about it multiple times on the channel. I think it is an absolute treat that we get to see this Oregon offense as well get their tests. Now, this Oregon offense was banged up in that Iowa game. I do think that if they had Sadiq, Malik Benson, and some of these other receivers that they have, that conversation, that game would have not been close. They've got three running backs over 550 yards on the season. I think Texas Tech, honestly, they're giving me very big TCU vibes from 2022. But with that being said, I went and looked at the stats, and this defense is not giving TCU 2022. The number one rush offense in the nation. They are rushing yards per game, only averaging 69, only allowing 69. They've only given up 33 20-plus yard plays all season long. That is second in the nation. They're first in takeaways with 31, and they're third in points per game allowed, only allowing 11 points a game. Now, are they going to allow more than 11 against an Oregon offense coming in, averaging 39 points per game? I don't believe so. An Oregon offense that is the only offense that has more 20-plus yard plays, more explosive plays than anybody in the nation. Also have a 49% third down conversion rate, 13th in the nation. I mean, the boys are coming in 468 yards, 469 yards. I mean, the boys are just, they move the ball too, and they have so many weapons. I mean, we got Noah Whittington, 798 yards for 6 touchdowns. Jordan Davison, 625 yards for 13 touchdowns. And De'Air Hill Jr., 557 yards for 5 touchdowns. Some other players, we've got quarterback Dante Moore, wide receiver Malik Benson, and tight end Kenyon Sadiq. This offense is absolutely loaded. The only other week that they had a full offense and played a top 10 team was week 8 against this Indiana team. They lost 30-20. Only 186 yards passing and 81 yards rushing and 2 turnovers. I mean, they absolutely they cannot have that happen. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. On the TCU side of the ball, granted, they did play a Big 12 schedule all year. They have not played in a couple weeks. I have Aaron Morton, Dickey, Coy Eakin, and the Rodriguez kid on the other side, and the other linebacker. I think these boys have a chip on their shoulder. I think they've been overlooked all year long. I'm giving it to Texas Tech, boys. I'm giving it to Texas Tech. I have talked them up all year long. I think they need to stand on it. I think they've got to stop these running backs. I think they will. I absolutely think they will. Now, the best game for me, I've got Ole Miss playing the University of Georgia. Georgia won the early matchup this year, 43-35. They came back, scored 17 points in the fourth quarter in a comeback. UGA did not punt all game. They had 510 yards of offense, and they held Mississippi to 88 yards rushing. Keywan Lacey has been an absolute problem for this Ole Miss offense. He's coming back. He's probable. Obviously, the boy's going to play, but I just don't see if he's coming off an injury. They're not going to be able to move the ball very well. With that being said, the quarterback comparison, Chambliss and Gunnar Stockton. Chambliss with a 66% completion percentage to Stockton's 70. He's got basically 3,300 yards to Stockton's 2,700. Through the air, an average of 253 to Stockton's average of 207. Now, with that being said, in this last game, Gunnar Stockton did have 5 touchdowns. 2 of those on the ground and 3 of those through the air. This Ole Miss offense is averaging 38 points a game, 500 yards a game, 312 passing, and 185 on the ground. Got 83 20 plus yard plays and a 69% fourth down conversion rate, which is 13th in the nation. I do not understand why that popped to me, because it would be more of a problem in my head saying that out loud. Why are they going for on fourth down? But they were kind of playing for their life this second half of the season, especially the last 3 or 4 games, just with everything looming with Lane Kiffin and everything. So UGA's offense on the other side, 32 points a game, 406 yards a game, 220 through the air, 186 on the ground. Only 12 turnovers all year long. Obviously, some big ones are Frazier's fumbles, the 5 picks that Gunner's thrown all year long. Just a very efficient offense. Some guys to look out for on offense: Gunnar Stockton, Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens, Zachariah Branch, and Colby Young, who just was announced maybe this morning that he's going to suit up and play for this game. Georgia's defense, boys, has shown up, especially in the last 6 games since really the second half of this Ole Miss game, fellas. Only allowing 15 points per game, 285 total yards, which is 11th in the nation. Only allowing 79 yards on the ground, which is 4th in the nation. Only allowing 36 20-plus yard plays all season long, which is 8th, and a 71% red zone percentage, 8th in the nation. Obviously, Keywan Lacey, Chambliss, Deuce Alexander, and Harrison, the wide receiver for Ole Miss, are some guys to look out for. But, boys, I just don't think this is – we can look at the game from earlier in this year all we want to, but 100% I've got Georgia winning this football game. The defense is just standing super tall. The offense has been super productive, super efficient. And the one thing that no one's been able to do absolutely at all against the University of Georgia in the last 4 weeks, the last 4 games they've had, is run it. So I don't believe that Ole Miss is going to be able to run the football, nor do I believe that they will win the football game. With that being said, I think that it will be Texas Tech Indiana, and I think that it will be Georgia Ohio State. Now, let me lay my conspiracy theory on you. For views, fun to watch as a Georgia fan coming at you. What if Alabama beats Indiana? Oregon beats Texas Tech, or Texas Tech beats Oregon. They don't really feed into this conspiracy at all. Alabama then beats Oregon or Texas Tech, the winner of said game. And then Miami beats Ohio State in the quarters. So then it would be Georgia, Miami. Georgia versus Beck for a chance to play Alabama in the national championship. Boys, it would be cinematic beauty. That would be piss half of the college football world off, 100%. If Alabama pushed it out, because they really, 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 really should have been in this game, in this playoffs in the first place. And I think we will see this against this Indiana team. But I mean, how funny would it be if we had to face Alabama after beating Beck in a semifinal game, man? That would be absolute poetry. So, just an idea. If it happens, we'll cut this and post it. But I mean, boys, we'll see you, I guess, this weekend, maybe. More than likely, you see me Tuesday, though, as usual. So, deuces, fellas.